as I get more and more into fantasy, I'm beginning to find that I read a lot of series, and that means that I have a ton of series still on my TBR. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna and this is 4 Paws in a Book. I make bookish videos over here on my little corner of the internet, so if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below. It's time to start talking about year-end content, and that means that we're going to be talking about series today. I am in the middle of so many series, but I did finish a lot of series as well. So I'm going to start with some numbers, and then we're going to quickly go through the books that I finished or the completed series and up-to-date series, and then quickly I'm going to talk to you about series that I'm in the middle of. There's a lot. It's a lot. So in 2023 I completed 8 series. So they are finished series. We're done with them. We're moving on, right? And then I'm also up to date with 10 more series, meaning that I have read everything that's been published so far. I ended up DNFing 21 series, which means at the beginning of 2023, they were on my series tracker, but then when I moved everything to 2024, I decided I'm not going to finish them. I'm not going to talk about those. Those just, they've gone away. But that means that I'm still in the middle of 53 series. And then on top of that, there's another 58 series that I own at least the first book of and haven't even started the series. So love that for me. Today I'm only going to be talking to you about the ones that I have either completed or I'm up to date with, or that I'm in the middle of. The other 50 something, that's next year's problem. So let's talk about the ones that are completed series that I finished in 2023. Just as a heads up, my math might be different than what you're actually seeing because I will not be discussing any books that are St. Martin's Press or any of its affiliates. I am actively boycotting St. Martin's Press and Wednesday Books as they have refused to come to the table and meet the absolutely reasonable demands of our boycott to denounce racism and have actionable items going forward. I will leave more information about the boycott down below. I finally finished the Burning Blade and Silver Eye trilogy by Django Wexler. This is the Ashes of the Sun trilogy, and I read the first 2 last year and absolutely loved them, and then it took me literally almost a year to read the 3rd book. But we finally did it, and this was a 5-star series for me. Cannot recommend this enough. I finished the Brightfall series with Iris Kelly Doesn't Date. This is the 3rd one that came out in October, and I read this one. I started and finished the Littenverse series. This is a duology of sci-fi novellas, Finna and Defect by Nino Cipri. I did like Finna more than Defect, but a lot of people still really like the second one. I finished the Green Hollow duology by Emily Tesh. This was a book that I read during Ramathon. It's like some witchy, cozy fantasy duology. I read the entire Aurelian cycle, so Firemorn, Flamefall, and Fury Song in 2023. Highly recommend. These will likely be all my best books of the year. I finished the Always Human graphic novel series with Love and Gravity by Ari North. Absolutely love this as a very queer space opera kind of story. I finished the Midnight Heat trilogy by Talia Hibbert by finishing The Fake Boyfriend Fiasco. This is a set of 3 standalone novels, but she kind of all put them together in a series. And then I haven't seen anything that is saying that there will be another book in this world yet, so we're calling it completed, but I read Legends and Lattes and Bookshops and Bone Dust, so the story here. Now let's talk about the series that I am up to date with, meaning that I've read everything that's been published, but there's still more books that either are announced or we know are coming. I'll start with the 2 graphic novel series that I'm actively reading. Heartstopper, I read volume 5 over the weekend, like literally as soon as it was in my house. So it will conclude with volume 6. And then also Lore Olympus, this is volume 5, and I believe that we'll have 1 more as well. I am up to date on the Dark Olympus series by Katie Robert. This is Cruel Seduction. Midnight Ruin does come out in January, so not up to date by very much. In fact, I do have an arc of it, but I'm not counting it as being behind until it actually gets published. Same thing with the Wayward Children series. I am up to date with this one, but Mislaid in Parts Half Known is an early January release and will likely be my first book of January, since I do have an arc of this one as well. I am up to date on Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I don't know if another book has been announced for this one yet, but I do know that the series is not over yet. So I'm excited to pick it up when it comes out, but I am up to date. I am up to date on the Empyrean or the Fourth Wing series, as I read this one earlier this month. Earlier last month. There we go. That's November. And I am anxiously anticipating the 3rd book. Also anxiously anticipating the 3rd book. I am up to date on the Ashes of Averin series by Tiago Abdallah, but there's no date for it. So I need to know. Tiago, if you're watching my video, can you please let me know when the third book is coming out? Because I want to read it today. And this might be cheating just a little bit because there is only one book that's been out. But I am up to date on the Sandsea trilogy by Chelsea Abdullah. This is The Stardust Thief. The second one does come out in like Q1. So again, not very far ahead, but I am up to date. All right, had to change my battery, so angle may have changed. But I'm back. Let's talk about the books that I am in the middle of. Editing Bree is gonna hate me. So I'm a book behind on A Deal with a Demon, plus the fourth book comes out in early 2024, so about to be 2 books behind. I am a book behind on The City of Dusk. I have The Midnight Kingdom, and then the third book will come out at some point in 2024. I'm behind on the Atlas series. I've only read the Atlas 6. I haven't read the second one, and then the third one comes out in early 2024. I literally have 1 book left. I have 1 book left in the David Bad trilogy. I just need to read The Empire of Gold. I'm 3 books behind on the Crossed series by Emily McIntyre. I've only read Hooked and Scarred, so I still have Wretched, Twisted, and Crossed to read. I'm behind on the Supernatural Investigations, which is the Amari series. I've only read Amari and the Night Brothers, and I think the third book will be coming out some point next year. I have 1 book left in the Written in the Stars series, so this is Count Your Lucky Stars, although I am going to try to read this before the end of the year to hopefully increase my series by 1 more. I'm behind, but I haven't really read these in a couple of years. The Paper Girls graphic novels. I've only read the first 3 volumes, but that was a couple of years ago, but I still have 3 more volumes left. I'm behind on Shadow and Bone. I read Shadow and Bone in November and didn't continue on with the series, but I will. I have 1 book left in the Camelot trilogy by Sierra Simone. I read American Queen and then American Prince. I didn't like American Prince, so I didn't want to continue it. But after reading the Priest series, I feel like I will still like the third book. We'll see. I'm giving it another shot. I'm behind on the Library of the Unwritten series by AJ Hackworth. This is a completed trilogy. I read the first one, but I probably will have to reread it before I go on to the second book because it's been so long. I've only read 1 book in the Reluctant Royals series by Alyssa Cole, and this was several years ago, so this is like not a very high priority for me. But I still have like 3 more books and a novella, I think, left in this series. I have 1 more book left in the Girls of Paper and Fire series by Natasha Neon. I still need to read Girls of Fate and Fury. Again, this is one that I'm really hoping to get to by the end of the year. I have 1 more book in the Dreamland Billionaires series by Lauren Asher. I still need to read Final Offer. I read both of the first ones last year for the Goodreads Choice Awards, and I still need to read the third one. I have 2 books left to read in the Twisted series by Anna Huang. I have the second book and the fourth book. I DNF'd the first one. I liked the third one. I read them out of order for the Goodreads Choice Awards last year, and now I need to finish the series. I've read 1 book in the From Blood and Ash series, so I still need to continue on with that. I need to continue on the Chorus of Dragons series. I've only read The Ruin of Kings, so I still have the other 4 to go. I really liked the first one. I don't know why I didn't continue. I have 2 books left in the Voices in the Snow series, or the Black Winter series by Darcy Coates. I read the first 2 like almost back to back, and then that was February. So I need to finish this. I have 1 book left in the Mrs. Right series. This is a sapphic contemporary romance. I read this one. I still need to read the second one. I've only read the first 3 books in the Murderbot series, so I still have, I think, 3 more, and then a novella or a novel. I don't know. I still have several to go. I'm technically leaving this one as behind because I still need to finish the Priest series with Midnight Mass. However, it has a trigger that I'm not super great with, so I might just consider this one completed. I have 1 book left in the War of Lost Hearts book. I need to read Mother of Death and Dawn. I had a buddy read for this and everything, and I just never got to it. I'm so sorry, Shay. I have 1 book left in the Blood Gift duology. The Blood Gift. This is the Blood Trials. I read this one this summer and really loved it. I need to finish the Swords of Dominion series. I read the Sword of Mercy and Wrath as part of my Spiffbo batch, and I really liked it. So the second book is already out, and the third one is going to be out next year, I believe. I need to read the second book in the Radiant Emperor series. I need to read He Who Drowned the World. I need to read the prequel novella. That is it. Of Rolling in the Drowning Deep. Into the Drowning Deep series. There's a prequel novella. I just haven't read that one. It's 4 hours long on audio. I only read book 1 of the Skyward series by Brandon Sanderson, and I would like to continue that series. I need to finish Django Wexler's YA series. This is the second one, City of Stone and Silence, and then there's a third one as well. I'd like to read the second book in the Tethered Spirits series. The Revenant Prince, I believe, is the second book, and I enjoyed this one. This is another one that was in my Spiffbo batch that I would like to continue the series. I discovered Rat Queens this year, and Really enjoyed it, but I only read the first 2 volumes and I believe there's 8 out. I also found the Washington Wolves football romance series this year. I read the first one, but there's 2 more in the series. And then I have 1 more book left in the Gravekeeper series by Darcy Coates, and then the 4th one comes out in Q1 of 2024. Another Carissa Broadbent. I have Ashes of the Star-Cursed King left to read. That's it. This is all. I read the first one and the novella. Just need to read this. I need to continue the Locked Tomb series by Tamsin Muir. I read Gideon the Ninth, and I never continued on with the series, but I would like to. There are 2 out currently, and then the 4th one comes out sometime next year. I read Hollow Kingdom this spooky season and had a really good time with it, so I'd like to read the 2nd one in the series, Feral Creatures. So far there are 13 volumes out of Spy Family. I've read 3 of them, so I definitely need to continue that. I'd like to continue the Time of Falcons and Rose series. The first one is The Legacy of the Vermilion Blade, and then the 2nd one, Promise of the Betrayer's Dagger. It just came out this, I think, in October, so I would like to continue it. This is a very queer fantasy with a little bit of romance. I really had a good time with this. I still need to finish the Darker Shades of Magic series, although after finishing Fragile Threads of Power, I am less interested in that series. So it's a medium priority for me right now. I just recently read The Tiger at Midnight by Swati Tirthala, and I think you'll be seeing that one in a vlog shortly, or it might have just come out. But there are 2 more books in that series. I read the Lovelight Farms, the first book in that series, but I think there's 3 more in that series that I need to read. The Wicked Villain series by Katie Robert. I read all of the main ones, but there is the Wicked Villain shorts, which is just like a collection of short stories that I still need to read. That's all I need to read in order to be up to date and complete with that one. That one might get done by the end of the year. I have only read the first book in the Red Rising series, and I know they get better, but there's just so many of them and it's so complex that it scares me at this point. But I do need to continue on with the series. And then there is a KU romance novella series called Love at Lockdown that I read the first one, I think 2 years ago actually. And there are 2 more in that series that I need to finish up that series. And then lastly, my most current or my most recent addition to this is I just finished Trial of the Sun Queen by Nisha J. Shuley. And I gave this one 3 stars, but I would like to continue on with the series, and there is another one that is out, and I think the 3rd one comes out in 2024. Okay, so that's it. That's all of the ones that I have read or I've started series. There's still a bunch that I haven't even started. It's fine. It's fine. Like I said, there are some that I just can't talk about that I'm not featuring on my channel. So that's all that I'm going to talk to you about today. That was enough. This is a long enough video. Let me know which one of these series I should prioritize in 2024, and I will do my best. If you're not feeling chatty, do like the running emoji, running man, running the track. I don't know. Just that's a fun one. That's all I have for you today. If you're new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little button you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, Goodreads, Twitter, and my Patreon are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!